Hey friends, it's Ruben with Hi-Fi MIDI. Thanks for joining me for a live stream. Now this is a different type of live stream. It's going to be very long, so that may be a good thing or maybe a bad thing for you. Maybe those who have been complaining that they always miss my live streams might catch it this time. So what is this live stream? This is I titled it Learn With Me Metal Guitar Programming. And the reason I titled it Learn With Me versus Learn From Me is because I am learning this as well. I am not a metal guy at all. I have a deep appreciation for it. I think it's an amazing style of music that requires a lot of technical skill. But I wanted to start learning more about it so that I can start programming it and then eventually teach it. So I just want to show you my method of learning. How do I learn to program instruments that I don't play or styles of music that I don't really listen to? And I'll show you right now. So if you're out there, please say hi. I'm still using the new chat feature on YouTube. All right. So anyway, I've created 3 tracks and I'm going to show you how I did those. They're very short. They end all of a sudden, but hopefully you enjoy them. And then the last one. I feel like that one should have gone longer. Hey, Brian. So another reason for making this very long is because I wanted to use this opportunity to chat with you guys, because most of my videos are scripted or planned ahead of time, and I don't really get a chance to see everybody's comments. So I wanted to say hi. Hi, Ivan. Thanks for joining. So before I tell you how I started learning these, I'm going to show you the plugins that I'm using. So if you've been following my channel for some time, you know that AME is Ample Metal Eclipse, a famous guitar used for metal. It's detuned, or it's tuned down all the way, I think, to C. And I am running that through Amplitube. I think this is a metal preset. Oh yeah, this is Ample Sound's own metal preset. They have a couple that they sent to me, and they're incredible. They sound great with this. And then the other one, just slightly different. Now, the reason I have 2, they're kind of panned left and right a little bit, because it fattens that wall of sound that is very common in metal and a lot of music that has distorted guitars. It just sounds better. When you have it just by itself, sometimes it can tend to sound thin. I'm going to show you how it sounds just by itself. And this is with both. One second. So to me, that sounds a lot better. All right, now let's get rid of this really quick, because the purpose of this video is to show you every single step I take creating this. It's actually pretty easy and pretty fun to do. So I discovered this website called Fundamental Changes, and they have a course on how to play metal rhythm guitar. Now, I don't know about you. I read music notation. I don't read tabs all that well because I'm not a guitarist, but I do read music notation, and this made it made it really helpful to break down these riffs, or these rhythms, I should say. So my first rhythm is based off of, this pattern right here. It's only 2 measures long, so I just followed that. I created within Cubase a 2 measure long MIDI region. I'm going to zoom in on this for those of you who can't probably look it on your phones. And then I double click this to open up my MIDI editor. Everything's going to be done in the MIDI edit window. That third riff is really cool. Now, when you're programming guitar, it's important to know the plugin that you're working with. Where is AME? There it is. All right, so on this plugin, the sustain and palm mute are layered. So in order to get the palm mute sound, I'm going to have to create notes that fall below a certain velocity threshold. Because above that threshold, it's going to trigger the sustain sound. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm using my keyboard right now, and I'm just going to press this really lightly. And it may be hard for some of you to see, but on the fretboard, you can see this little pause button that symbolizes the mute, palm mute. And when I hit it harder, you're going to see a little dot that's a symbol for the sustain. And when I hit it even harder, it's the symbol for, what is that? I'm not sure if that's a pop or what articulation that is. It's like a harmonic sound. But we're not going to play this on keyboard, or I'm not going to play this on keyboard. So let's go back to this rhythm. It's all 8th notes. So it's good to set your grid to the value of the note that you want. So this is 8th notes. The first note is a low E, da da da, ba, and then it has a little harmony right here. That's an E. So we're going to make 3 E's right here. I might be on the wrong track. Oh, there it is. Yep, I was on the wrong track. Sorry about that. So there it is. It's E1. So I'm going to make 3 right here in a row. And then the last 2 notes were E, an octave higher, and then a B, 5th above that. So that's my first measure right there. Ba-da-da-da-da. Then we're going to have 3 more E's. We just click those notes in. And then the last notes are D and A. So that's a whole step down from here. Now let's make that velocity quieter. And then another E, 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 and now instead of having 3 E's in a row, it has 2 and then the chord. So this is a third lower than this. So E, E, and that's B, and then F sharp. So E, E, and then B and F sharp, and then another E. So this is on the next measure. So that was, I forgot the notes already. B and F sharp. So here's B, and then F sharp up here, and then another E. It's coming together. And then E, G, and D. So these two harmonies in a row, E, G, and D. So right now I'm more concerned about rhythm and then notes. Everything, all the little details I'll fix later on. I already forgot it. B and G and D, sorry. And then the last harmony is A and E. It's going to slide up to it. A, and where is E? There we go. So let's listen to that whole thing. Now I want to hear that as a loop, so I'm going to drag my markers here. Oops. And then I'm going to turn the loop on. That sounds pretty cool already. I want to make these dynamics really quiet, just for now. That sounds a lot better, actually. Now, one thing to notice, even though I don't read tabs that well, I know that the first three notes are palm mute, and then we have an open strum, palm mute, open strum. So I need to, on these parts right here, like the fourth note, and then the last note of that measure, need to be a higher velocity so that I can get that sustained sound. So I'm going to go in here within the MIDI editor. And this one right here, these chords right here are going to be open, so the harmonies. And then, yeah, so basically every single harmony is open. I'm going to raise these up all together. Let's hear that. So already that sounds more dynamic, it sounds more interesting than hearing the same articulation over and over. There's some variation to it. Now, let's, just to get a little teaser, let's listen to how it sounds when you have it running on two tracks, the same exact pattern. So I'm going to copy and paste this here and watch how it comes alive. Doesn't that sound so much better? Hey, Job, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Wait, I recognize that avatar. So what I'm basically doing is showing people how I'm learning to program metal guitar. It's something I'm not very familiar with, but that I've been having a lot of fun learning, and I'm using this website called fundamentalchanges.com. I'm going to contact the owner and let him know that I gave his page a shout out. And he breaks it down like with tabs and notation And it also gives an audio example of how it's supposed to sound. And then there's a good level of detail here, so that if you're programming, you can just simply follow these notes. So right here, I have a slide from this harmony to this harmony right here. So I'm going to try to get that done. It might not be that noticeable, but I'm still going to try it. So that would be legato slide. Let's try that. I'm going to get rid of this bottom one real quick. So legato slide is E, I think it's E0. No, I'm sorry. It's C sharp 0. So I have to go into the MIDI edit window and make sure that that is triggered, that key switch is triggered. So on these two last notes right here, let me go in here. This will be a lot easier to see. And I'll turn off my logo. All right, let me play that. There you go. Between these two last notes, I want it to slide. Let's see if we can do that. So C sharp 0. I want it to start there. And I'm going to turn my my grid snap off. That way I can pull this a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this back. That way these two notes can overlap. Hopefully it'll work automatically. Yep. It does. Let me open up AME real quick, and you'll see right here that the notes slide. Do you see that? The notes slide together. And I think that sounds pretty good. Now, I'm going to do what I always like doing and copying and pasting, because rhythms usually repeat a lot. And unless a song is like overly complicated, your rhythm parts are going to repeat. Because they're basically trying to create a groove. And then I'm going to, oops, I accidentally pressed zoom. I'm still not an expert at Cubase, but it's enough to get the work that I need done. And then I'm going to copy, actually, I kind of want this to open up over time. So this is the entire rhythm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to create a line for, going from the low velocity all the way to the high velocity here. I'm a little worried about this because it's going to get rid of the chugs, which, no, I'm going to undo that. I think there's probably a better way. Let me highlight all these notes. Bear with me. This is why the video is going to take long, because part of programming is figuring out how to get a task done. And it becomes easier the second time. All right, let's do this again. So I'm not going to highlight these because I don't want those to change. What I'm going to try to do is to tilt the curve. This is what I love about Cubase. You can tilt the curve so that everything adjusts relative to the other notes. So I'm going to raise this part higher. And now it should sound like everything has dynamics, but that there's an overall dynamic too, that it's getting louder and louder, but you still have that variation within each measure. Oops, forgot something. I need this on both tracks. Oops. I think this should be right here. One of these is a solo lead. I don't want to use that one. Give me 1 second while I figure out. There's 3 Metal Eclipse tracks, and one of them is for a solo, which I never did. But let's see. I'll figure it out right now. It's not that one. Okay. There you go. Okay, so I don't want that on top. I want this right here. All right, let's listen to that. Hey, Yaroslav. So you can hear that as it started opening up. That's a really cool feature in this program. All right, let's go to the next one. By the way, I want to show you what I did in the bass really quick. This was basically following the, I created this myself. I mean, like I wrote it myself. It was basically following the guitar part, but just a lot more simplified, one note at a time. I'm using Apple Metal Ray, which is the Music Band bass that Apple created for their Metal series. Let me play that. And then for drums, I'm using Superior Drummer 3, and this is a metal drum kit, or at least a preset. Sounds very cool. And these grooves were they're within the plugin. This is from the Metal Foundry MIDI. What is it called? It's a MIDI bundle where actual drummers play these grooves, so it sounds very natural. And since I don't know how to play metal drums, I need to get familiar with how it sounds, how it's programmed. So it's easier using these MIDI files if you have them. All right, let's go to the next exercise. If I can find it. So I was just listening through these and just trying to figure out which one I liked. You know what? I think I forgot which one it was. That's okay. So there's a lot of great exercises here, especially if like you're an actual guitarist and want to learn this. Bum ba da 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 dum bum ba da 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 bum ba da 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 dum bum ba da dum. Nope, that's not it. Ba da 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 ba da. So this is the third one that I got. I'll just go ahead and do that one. This one's a little bit more complicated. At least note-wise. So this, we use 16th notes in this exercise. The tempo is 100 beats per minute. So let me get the first notes. That's B, C, A, F sharp. B, C, A, F sharp. I'm gonna create a MIDI region over here. double click that, open the MIDI edit window, set my grid to 16th notes, and I want to turn the snap on. All right, B, C, A, F sharp. B, C. I think that's probably too low. There you go. B, C, A, F sharp. And then low B, high B, C, A. So B, B, C, A. F, B, B, C. F, low B, high B, C. F, B, B, C. I'm not saying F, B, B, C like the news company, corporation. F, B, but you guys knew that. That was a dumb joke. F, B, B. Although I know a lot of people who would say that. I'm not going to get into that discussion. All right, something seems off. I think it's the tempo. Maybe I had it in the wrong one. Yeah, I think this was my second one. Let me drag this over here. Sorry about that. There you go. That's what it's supposed to sound like. All right, I'm going to read some of the comments. I like your drum plugin. I like it too. What's the best bass plugin one can use and sound live? Oh, that's a difficult one because I don't know. It depends on how it was recorded because some bass plugins are recorded or are sampled running through an amp, which gives it the authentic amp sound. However, they don't sound as clean as something that's recorded through DI. DI, you can get a lot more accurate sounds or accurate like legato. But I've used some plugins live. They don't sound as good as you think that they would sound. I don't know what it is, if it's the sample depth or like the level of expression. It doesn't translate well in live systems. Like I've used Ample Sound's basses, like their acoustic and their jazz bass live, and it sounds good, but it doesn't sound as good as it does through studio speakers. Whereas my keyboard bass, which is a lot more simple, sounds a lot punchier live. That's because that's what it was designed for. Moto bass is good. I like Trillion. Trillion definitely has that punch. It's not as customizable or program friendly as these newer plugins because it's a bit old, but it is very detailed. All right, let's get on with this. We have a few notes left. That's A, F, B, B. A, F, B, B. A, F, B, B. Whoa, what happened here? There you go. A, F. So this is kind of tedious work. It's very easy to do, but it takes time and patience. But it's coming together, right? All right, let's do this quickly. C, A, F sharp, B. C, A, F sharp. That's not a C. Then B, C, A, F. B, C, A, F. B, C, A, F. B, B, C, A. B, B, C, A. I think this is the last one. Yeah. F, A, F, B. F, A, F, B. F, A, F. Let's play this. Scarby basses are my go-to. Yeah, those Scarby bass definitely sounds amazing. All right, now that we have the notes and the rhythm, let's focus on articulation and dynamics. So some of these notes have accents on them. Accents are going to get a little bit more velocity. So that's on beat 1, the E of 2, the and of 3, and the of 4. What does that mean? Okay, beat 1. I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible with this. I don't want to bore you, but at the same time, I want you to see everything that goes on. So beat 1, that's going to be louder. You know, it would be better if I lowered the volume or the volume of all these notes first. Okay. So the first note is going to get accented. The second 16th note in the second group. That's right here. And then the and of 3, which is right here. And then the last one of the 4. Oh, great. That's good to know. And then the accents are different on the second measure. So that's beat 2, the E of beat 3. And when I say E or when you have 8th notes, time division, you say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And when you have 16th note time division, you say 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and All right, let's try this. So beat 2. And then I said the beat 3, it's the E. And then the E of 4 as well. Let's listen to that by itself without the drums and bass. Now, there's something unsatisfying about that. I don't know what it is. So it's supposed to be sustained notes, but I don't know if it's the transition from note to note. Let me see if it would sound good if I had it hammer on, or if that's even an option. So hammer on, that's D. So I'm going to hold D under this. Let's see if that makes it sound better. I'm going to get rid of it and see if it made a difference. No, I don't hear much of a difference. Maybe it's in my head. Maybe if I put it on every measure. Okay, and then I'm gonna repeat this. Oops. Then I'm going to copy and paste it to the next track. Actually, I didn't need to repeat it. So that's that. And then for my favorite, this last one, hopefully I can find it. I think this one was pretty complicated. You know, I don't know where it is. Da 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 da. Ba-dum, ba-dum, da-da, da-da. Da-dum, ba-dum, ba-bum, ba-bum. No, it definitely wasn't that one. If you're just joining me, I'll say this quickly. I am showing how I'm learning how to program metal guitar. I'm on this website, fundamentalchanges.com, fundamental-changes.com, and there is a little course on playing metal guitar. So I'm reading the notation for metal guitar, and I'm creating a little track to it with drums and bass. Let's see if it's this one. Oops. No, it's not that one. Oops. Oops. Wasn't that one either. Where did it go? That was that was my favorite of all of them. Maybe I got it from somewhere else, but that is a shame. Hold on. My sight reading's not great right now because I'm under pressure because of you guys. Let's see. How do you know what string plays the notes on? To be honest, I don't. Actually, you know what? The tab is right here, so it's showing you the strings. So you can do this in Riffer, or you can do this in your MIDI editor. You're gonna have to use the forced string trigger. So in this case, it would be, being that this is a metal guitar, I don't know if this is the A string or if it's called something else. The tab shows you the strings and the number is the fret. Right. I mean when writing from scratch. Oh, I see. How do you know what string to play the notes on? So with this instrument, unless you're very experienced and you can hear all the differences, I think it would be very hard to tell. But in any case, if you're using AME, it uses a certain logic to it. So if you're playing a certain group of notes, they're going to stick to the same area and automatically go to the correct string. See, notice that the notes that I play are between these two dots because that shows the hand position, the human hand position. So it stays in the same vicinity. You can copy the tab to Riffer. Right. I've never actually used the tab feature within Ample Sound's plugins, but you can import tabs from, like, I think it's called Guitar Pro, and it just reads it. I'm not sure that if it has to be a certain type of file, or if you can just import any tab. Like, I don't think you can import a PDF, but I'm not very sure about that. This is something I literally never ever mess with, but it's one of those features for people who love using tablature, which is pretty cool. Let's do one more just for the heck of it. You know what? I may have a clue as to what it was. This is 160 beats per minute. So I'm going to find the one that said 160. I think that's the one it was. 100, 110. I think this is it right here. There you go. So let's try this. That's B and E. Bum ba. So I have two 16th notes and 1/8 note on the same harmonies. Double click that. Set my grid to 16th notes. Ba-da-dum. And then these two notes were 8th notes. So I'm going to drag that out. Now I have 6 to 8th notes. That's D, F, E, C. You know what I'll do to make things easier? I'm going to... Oh no, I can't split the view, unfortunately. That's okay. D, F, E, C. I'll just remember that. Let me make this bigger. So this is 8th notes. I'm going to set my grid to 8th. I believe that was D, F. D, F, E, C. And then GB. GB natural. Let's go back a little bit. Sounding cool. D, A, G, E. D, A, G, E. I sound like a cheerleader. D, A, G, E. That was D right there. A, G. D, A, G, E. D, B, F, G. D, B, F, G. I need to remember the shape of that too, so I get the right register. D, B, F, G. D, B, F. Let's listen to that before I go crazy. And then quarter, 8th, 8th. This is a... It's like an E power chord. E, B, E. E, B, E. Quarter, 8th, 8th. I'll leave it set to 8th notes since I have only one quarter note. quarter, eighth, eighth. C, G, A, D. C, G, A, D. Problem is the tab you import can be the length of the full song, and if you want to transfer it to Riffer, you have the limitation of 8 bars. Right, and you know that's something I talked to Kang about. I think it's in the plans to make Riffer longer. Actually, there's a lot of big improvements with the new electric guitar update. All right, in my opinion, don't worry if your video is too long. You are showing a great example of the work needed to program a realistic guitar part. Thanks, no problem. This is such a cool part. All right, now we have eighth notes. Da 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 dum bum. And then at the end we have 2 eighth notes. So I'm gonna focus on these right here. So those are eighth note triplets. So I'm gonna set my grid to eighth note triplets, and now it's changed within Cubase. And that's gonna take up 3 beats. So this is B, D, B, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp. You know, I'm going to stick to 3 notes. B, D, B. That is. And then G sharp, F, G sharp. G sharp. Then F, D, B, F, D, B. Then C and, sorry, I'm C and, that's not C, A and G sharp, A and G sharp. Oops, I forgot to set this to eighth notes. I just said oops instead of oops. So, because the last 2 notes are eighth notes, not eighth note triplets. Let's listen to that whole thing. All right, it sounds pretty cool like that, but I'm not going to leave it like that, of course. Palm mute. The first 3 chords are palm mute. That means I'm going to set my velocity low. Then this is a hammer-on right here. Hammer-on, I believe it was D0. So F and E is going to be hammer-on. That's right here. D0. I'm going to turn my grid off. That way I could make some minor adjustments here. And then we have a slide from B to D. So that's going to be C sharp 0. That's the legato slide from B to D. Right here. And then I'm going to make this note pull back a little bit. That way they overlap. All right, so I didn't do anything because I think this has to be set to align with the note. So if you can, I think you can hear that. There's that slide. Then we're going to slide from, you know what, maybe some of you who are more familiar with guitar can tell me what this is. What is this plus sign above the note? Hopefully somebody can answer that as I'm working. And then we have a slide from this D to B. D to B. So that's another legato. D to B. And then I'm going to drag this B back because in order for notes to slide to one another, or to slide from one note to another, you have to overlap them a little bit. Now I didn't hear it slide, so that means I'm going to have to force a string. Let me go back into my plugin to see what the force string key is. I think the four strings are over here. No? You know, I may be showing how little I use this plugin because I don't see an option for fourth string. Didn't want to do that. It might be somewhere right in front of me and I can't see it. That's interesting. I could probably figure that out later. It's going to be something that I'm just going to have to leave alone. I think the other way to do it would be, the workaround would be to make sure that the capo was set to a certain point. But I'm not going to do that right now. I think it means tap. Usually indicates open close on a wah pedal. Artificial harmonics. Really? Artificial harmonics. Okay, let's go back to that then. So I don't know if you can actually slide on this plugin. I don't know if you can slide from artificial harmonics to another. Let's try it though. All right, so harmonics are triggered by velocity, so I'm going to have to raise this even more, the volume. And that is on the B and D. B and D and then the E. Okay. So I'm going to raise the volume of these. For some reason, it's not triggering the harmonic. When I play it, it does. Now I hear it. But it doesn't slide. And that, I don't know how you would do that though. Our harmonic slide. That sounds. Is that even possible, guitarists? Open close effect. Okay, I prefer how it sounds just with the regular sustain though. So I'm just gonna keep it like that. And we have this slide that wasn't really working that well. And then bum ba da 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 dum da 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 dum ba da 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 dum bum. So all of this is going to be, I assume, hammer on pulled off. So I'm gonna trigger that. And hammer on was D, 0. So it sounds like all of these notes are picked. In order to get that hammer-on sound, I would have to overlap them. See, I can do that. Let's see if it sounds better. So I'm going to drag this group of notes. Not all of them, but I'm going to oops. Forgot to turn my grid snap on, off. Whoa, that's weird. At first it sounded okay, but then didn't. Oh, I see why, because some of these notes are on different strings. So I'm going to see if I could fix something real quick. Maybe I shouldn't have them overlap. You know, sometimes you can only do so much with something, and there's only so much nuance a plugin can have. I know some of you are not going to like that I do this, but I'm going to pencil in the dynamics. I'll decide later on if anything needs to change. I need to fix this one. I don't know if it's the distortion, but this one sounds like it you can't really hear the rhythm in it. All right, let me close this. And I'm going to copy and paste this. Now for the bass, I wrote this part in. I'll play it for you solo. And I made the drums follow the bass line as well. Sorry, I'm trying to make only the bass and the drums play. So I'll mute these. I think there's some rhythmic mistake in the bass. Yeah, right there. See, the problem is the notes are too short. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Those are 30-second notes. I just need to make sure that they're not overlapping. So I'm going to go into my functions, MIDI functions, and then delete overlap notes. Ba-da-dum. Something's weird here. Oh, I see. Yeah, they were too close together. All right. That sounds a lot cleaner. Now let's hear the whole thing. So I'm going to be checking out this website some more, listening to some metal music, because I want to do this more often. This is very, very fun. It's satisfying feeling the power of these plugins, these instruments playing together. It's relatively easy to make it sound good. That's what I love about it. You get a lot for very little effort. So anyway, it was great spending some time with you. I think more time than usual. I don't even know how long this has been going on. Let's see, an hour and 1 minute. Hi, Ruben. Can you say how to add more bars in Riffer? So Riffer right now at the present moment, it's limited to 8 bars. So if you open it up, go down here to the left side, and there's this this measures button. If you click on it, it'll give you the option for 8 measures. I realized that many riffs that people make are longer than that. I know that it's in the works. Something is in the works to make that longer. I'm constantly communicating with Kang from Ample Sound, and I let him know, hey, people are saying this, or when are you going to add this function to your program? And some of the things they're currently working on, and it's almost ready. Other things are going to be in the next version, because it's pretty complicated making these programs. Okay, let's see. The last 2 notes of the bass part don't sound completely right to me. Yeah, I know there's still work that needs to be done. It's not perfect. Doesn't sound right to me either. I think that sounds better. The difference between the 2 tracks is just the presets for the effects. I'm running Amplitude, and Ample Sound created a preset for just specifically for AME. So we have AME R, AME R2, and so I'm using those 2 presets. And I have one guitar panned slightly to the left, another slightly to the right. Now, within the plugin, it does have that artificial doubling. I don't always use that. I prefer just doubling the track and then using different effects. Let me see. I want to read some more of these comments. Sorry if I missed your comments. There's a lot going on right now. With prefer when you transfer the MIDI, it will have all the key switches. I am doing something similar to this, and you almost need to have OCD to get it right. In my case, I need an instruction for many notes about which string to play them on, and the MIDI instruction has to happen a hair before the note itself. Yeah, you know what? It depends. Sometimes some plugins I've found that even if you have the notes aligned, like the let's say you have an E on the first measure or first beat, and then you want a palm mute articulation on that one. You don't have to always have the articulation come slightly before it. I think some plugins or some DAWs kind of read ahead so that it's not like happening after the fact, or it's not missing an articulation, if that makes sense. I personally always turn my pick offset on in these VST guitars to make it sound less keyboard, then add negative delay to compensate the timing. Yeah, that's what I do with the strumming It's a good technique. What is difference? You're welcome, Alex. What is the difference between the two AME tracks? Oh yeah, I already read that. Maybe a slide would work too for those last two notes. We could definitely try that. Actually, I need to see what... So slide for this one would be... That would be C, that would be E0. So let me quickly do that. Just to please my audience. C0. Or E0, sorry. And then drag this back. There you go. Sounds like it happened a little bit late. Or a little early. I'll leave it like that. I'm not gonna program anymore. How does one cut that out? Wait up. I noticed in the first exercise you did at the end of the final bar there was a split second of a distortion note. Oh, I see. That is the release sample. Okay, so you have to go into your plugin and then just turn off the release sample. And this can be automated as well. So if you want it during the song, you can have it. Then at the very end, just take it off. Oh, it still did it. Let me see. It must be something else then. Let's see. Effects. Fret sound release. Maybe it's that. There you go. It was a fret sound release. Can you speak Chinese? No. I wish I could. But what group style you're trying to copy now? What group style? What do you mean? All I'm doing, if you're tuning in late, is I'm trying to learn how to play metal, and in order to do that, I had to go to a website where it shows metal riffs, and I just basically just played that. Some of these right here. It's a great website, and I'll post a link in the description. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate it, and it was good actually getting to talk to you and answer some questions. What do you think about this video? If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what you want to see. I want to do this on a regular basis, like not too often, like not every day, or not maybe once a week or once every other week. I'm not sure, but I like connecting with you all, and I want to get your ideas, your feedback on what I should do and what you think about this. So thanks for joining me.